Guys, so Instagram is, it is the one we love. It is the social media platform that clearly is the fan favorite of beauty professionals, really creative artists as a whole. And 2020 is a big year, not only because it's 2020, but also because I think it would be officially 10 years for Instagram. If I'm not mistaken, IG was established and launched in 2010. So we're dealing with a decade of this platform. It feels like the baby brother of all the social media platforms, but it's been around and it's really lasted the test of time. And it is a favorite of our profession, mainly because it's a photo platform. So I'm going to be using this area right here, guys, to drop some graphics to be able to kind of help me along the way to discuss how I think you and I should be using social media, not just to build brand, but to build business. All right, let's get started. First things first, we really want to keep in mind the goal of Instagram. Like, what is the number one goal of the platform? Not for you, not for me, not for everybody that's using the platform, but what is the mission of the people that created this platform? And at this point, the actual founders of Instagram, they've left the company. So now it's in full control of Mark Zuckerberg and everybody over at Facebook headquarters. And we know that Facebook, their number one goal is now the goal of Instagram. It's to keep users on as much as possible. Now, I want you and I want myself not to maybe spend 24 hours on Instagram every day, all day, posting and engaging. Even though we got to put some work in, we definitely want to have a life to be able to service our clients, to take care of our families, and just to have freedom ourselves. But the goal of the user, you definitely want to get your business in line with Instagram. What do I mean by that? Let's not really run away from having people to constantly engage with our content. Whether that means you have to plan some posts, whether that means you have to have some help with your page to grow it. But the idea of taking breaks off and being away for long periods of time without a plan in order to constantly engage with your people, it's not necessarily in line with Instagram's mission. So first things first is to understand that they're going to reward you and they're going to reward me. The more we use the platform and the more we use the different features that keep the customer, keep the client, keep the user engaged. That's very important to understand as we talk about what I think are some strategies to consider as we head into 2020. Here's some stats, guys. Instagram has over 1 billion. They're really knocking on the door of 1.5 billion users in a month span on Instagram. Does that mean that every user is there every day? No, but in a week span, in a 2-week span, in a month span, they are housing, this is incredible, 1.5 billion users. Guys, listen. Every former marketing platform that we've ever used, I don't care if it's television, radio, billboard, magazine, vending, events, whatever marketing that I used years ago or that you use ago, nobody had a billion eyes looking at it in a month span. So we've never seen anything like this. And if you are out there, guys, and you're building a brand in beauty or building a brand, period, we really want to respect how powerful this platform is. If you would spend money on television, all right, if you would spend money on billboard like I did, $300 a month once upon a time, if you would spend money for a radio drop, $300, $400, if you would spend, money to be in Black Sophisticates like I did years ago, time after time, $350 per model for a little square inch in the, if you spend that money on traditional marketing, what Instagram is free. So it's asking you and it's asking me to spend time in order to utilize it and leverage it in the exact same way. So think about that. 1 billion, almost 1 billion 5 are on this platform. To get that, some perspective of that, there's only 7 billion people on Earth. So 1 in 7 people are on this platform every day. And why is that perspective? Because sometimes we'll convince ourselves that our customer isn't on social media. My market isn't on Instagram. My client is 35, 40 years old, a mom, a grandmother, a teenager. Guys, your customer is on IG, right? Everybody's there. Now, they may not be there content creating, but their eyes are there and their attention is there. So we've got to be there in order to take their attention and go from looking to booking. Guys, here's one last stat to really put it in perspective. 32% of all internet users, meaning no matter anybody that touches the internet, 32%, so 1 in 3 internet users, period, are on Instagram at least once a day. That's probably the most telling statistic for us to really consider. To really kind of open up and realize, okay, whether or not I like it or not, whether or not I enjoy the camera, whether or not it's really, my thing to be on social media, if I'm going to run a business that operates in 2020 and beyond, my customer is there, so that means I've got to be there. Guys, as we head on into 2020, there's always been a conversation about, is quantity better? Meaning, is it about posting a lot of content? Or is quality better? Is it about posting really high quality content? And I answer that this way. Quality and quantity are important. Here's what I mean by quantity, meaning there should be a constant flow, whatever constant flow is to you. I'll be honest, guys, if you're running a business on Instagram, I really would have you or anybody to look at least 3 times a day. I like to train people to say breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Meaning when you get up in the morning, that is one of the high times that people check social media before they go to work, before they go to school, before they tackle their day. So as you're eating breakfast, post something to your audience. Guys, when you sit down midday for lunch, post something somewhere on IG. And at dinner time, as you're laying down and going to sleep, bare minimum, guys, knock out another post of some sort at dinner time. So breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Now, does late night post work? Absolutely. Does really early morning post for your clients who are starting their day at 5 and 6 in the morning? Absolutely. But bare minimum, 3 posts a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So that is a basic flow. Some people like to go 5 times a day. Some people like to go 10 pieces of content on Instagram a day. It's very easy to do. We'll talk about that later. Or maybe twice, but bare minimum, guys, at least 2 solid posts a day, 5 to 7 days a week. In my opinion, I would not really go a full day at all without posting something. And here's the reality, guys. It does not take a tremendous amount of time to press send on a photo or a video. Sometimes we're overthinking it and we think it has to be elaborate each time. We just want to be able to touch, to be able to make contact with our audience. Think about the word audience, right? The root word for audience is audio. That means this person, this group of people, this demographic, guys, this audience that you have that you're looking at, that we say we want a big following. I like the word audience because your audience, they want to hear from you. They want to know what you're about. They want to know to like you. They want to get to know you, right, better. And they want to trust your judgment. And that is how we're going to convert looking to booking. So guys, we really want to view it as like a relationship. Think of yourself if you're in a relationship, a romantic relationship. How many times can somebody text you or call you when you're really, really digging them? You want to hear from them all day long. So if you're creating content that's not selfish, that's really about the user or about your audience, there's not really too much that you can post. It's not like an overload. Now, if you just make this about your photo album and just want to post pictures of hair and post pictures of cuts, then that can get a little redundant. But if you have this magazine that you're giving to your people that has a wide range of different variations of you and your world, guys, I'm telling you, quantity is a very big deal. Now, quality is something a little bit different. People would imagine high quality photo, right? High quality video, which is important. But I also want you to know that quality, I want you to maybe think a little different than that as we head to 2020. Quality is more about how much does the user value what the content is talking about, the caption, the hashtags. How much does it help them? Are you giving them some advice? Are you giving them some inspiration? Are you giving them some information? Are you giving them some comedy? Are you making them think? Or are you giving them some ideas? So it's about the quality to the user. Think of it like you're giving a gift to somebody. Be sure that we're not giving a gift to a loved one that we like for ourselves. Let me make sure that the gift is something that my nephew likes, that he likes, that my wife likes, that she likes. Let me make sure that I'm giving a gift to my mom that she likes. Not a gift that I like for her, but what she has shown that she likes. And when you're thinking about your client, not other hairstylists, not other barbers, not other beauty professionals, but what are some things that your clients are into? This is why I encourage you guys to follow your clients. You'll find out that they're not really thinking about hair all day long necessarily. I know this is a little different for people to consider, but I'm letting you know that if your page is a little bit more varietous, you'll graft in different demographics. Show that you're a mom, you'll bring in moms. Show that you're into sports. You'll bring in people that are into sports. Show that, you like a little outfit of the day or a little shoes game in your wardrobe. Show those different things. Show that you like to travel and that you're a hairstylist and that you're into beauty, so you can diversify who's watching your channel. So when it's time to market to them, oh yeah, by the way, I have a salon at 123 Main Street. Your audience is more wide-ranging because you're giving them quality content that's wide-ranging that they all will enjoy. All right, guys, next thing that you really want to consider as we head into 2020, guys, at the end of 2019, once upon a time, Instagram was all about the photo. It was all about the timeline. Well, things have changed, guys, and Instagram is taking into account who they're going to allow more reach, more eyes to see their stuff, right? Who's going to get a lot more love on their content is people that use all of the different content sharing platforms on the particular application. For instance, guys, now they really want you to utilize video. Not just video on your timeline. You get up to a minute, right? You can go 20 seconds, 25 seconds, up to a minute. They also want you to use video in IG stories. They also want you to use video, guys, when you go live in video in IG Live. They also definitely, guys, want you to use IGTV. The pages and the users that are actual content creators like you and I that utilize more of the platform's uploading features, they're going to get more love. They're going to get more conversion. They're going to get more reach. If you only use photo, it doesn't mean you're not going to get any love. But guys, they're not going to put you at the front of the line versus people that are using all of the different outlets. Does that make sense? So video and photo is important. Guys, another thing that's very important is caption, meaning what are you writing underneath? Not just, I use a blonding paste, I use Pravana. Guys, those are things that other hairdressers are into. What are you doing to talk about the person that's in the photo? Are you sharing the story of your customer or yourself? Are you talking about the area of town that you're in? Are you giving people some ideas on how to style their hair at home? Are you giving people some ideas on how to grow their hair or maintain their hair or take care of their daughter's hair? Guys, the more value that you give, the more content that you share in caption that gets the people engaged, leaving comments, saving your posts, going back and forth, then now not only is the photo or video important, but what is happening in the conversation below the photo and video is just as important. Because every time a audience, right, member, or one of your followers engages by liking the photo, leaving a comment, every time you go back and comment back on a comment that somebody left, when you like their comment, every time that post is touched, it's triggering the algorithm to say this is an important post. This is something that people like. If you post stuff that's only self-serving, then what will happen is Instagram as a robot, as an algorithm, as a computer program will say, okay, well, this is not anything that anybody likes. This is not anything that's engaging. So you gotta be thinking like, what does my audience wanna talk about? What are they interested in? For instance, I'm making this video on the Tribe platform because I get so many questions about Instagram and how to work it. So I could talk about what I wanna talk about. I might wanna share about my recent trip to Las Vegas. but you guys are, you're letting me know with your feedback what you want to hear more about on the platform. Does that make sense? So I'm creating my platform less about just my expression, but I'm making it about my user, and Instagram will reward you with more reach, which turns your looking into them clicking on your link, guys, and bringing them into the salon, because more reach oftentimes is connected to, guys, conversion into business. Not just branding online, but actual business. Guys, the 3 platforms that I just don't see enough of the tribe members or beauty professionals or friends of mine that are building business. I don't see enough people, guys, that are utilizing stories, IGTV, and IG Live. Guys, it's not really an option anymore. They're expecting us to use it. So when you have 5 different ways to post, video on timeline, photo on timeline, which is also like the carousel or carousel video, Instagram TV, Instagram Live, and Instagram Stories. If you're only posting photo, they're kind of put you in the one user lane. The more of the features that you use, the more they consider you a prime or a premium Instagram user. And remember, the person that gets the most engagement and keeps the people on the platform longest, they push them to the front of the line and they give them more conversion. If you're not using all 5 and you're not posting each day, and you're taking long breaks, guys, they're going to put you and almost ghost you and put you in the back of the line. So when you're not seeing that conversion and you're not paying for marketing, then Instagram is not really helping you. But remember, their number one goal is people on the platform. So you've got to get in line and say, okay, that's what they're on. That's what I've got to be on. I've got to really sit down with myself, maybe get over my fears, get over my inhibitions, and start working these other platforms. And guys, you're going to see a huge difference in how your platform grows. And if I had to tell you at least one feature that you definitely need to use more of, guys, it's video. Either video on your platform, on your timeline, or bare minimum, guys, IGTV. What's happening right now with IGTV is, here's what's going on with Instagram. Let's just put it out there. They are a bully. They want to remove, right, the attention and the time that other platforms are getting from their users. What do I mean by that? I mean that there are people that are on Instagram and they're also on Snapchat. There are people that are on Instagram and also have on their phone YouTube. There are people that are on Instagram and are also on Periscope. Guys, I was on Periscope. Many of you guys found me on Periscope, and I was a die-hard Periscope user. But when Instagram created IG Live, I migrated away from Periscope because I already had a larger following on Instagram, and I saw that Periscope was giving me less and less reach. So it made sense to consolidate and go to the platform where it was like an all-into-one. I never actually created a Snapchat account, but when they created Instagram Stories, it was a direct combatant, right? A direct, opponent, seemingly, guys, to Snapchat. So they want you to use that platform, and the people that are using, again, the opponent to Snapchat, Instagram Stories, the opponent to Periscope and other live broadcasts, IG Live, and the opponent, guys, to YouTube, which is IGTV. Guys, they're going to reward you heavily. So IGTV and bare minimum stories, guys, if you don't even want to leave the platform and go to YouTube and other platforms, use more of Instagram. Some of us, we're trying to squeeze more out of the timeline only. Use more of the platform to show more ways to think about it. Your audience, everybody doesn't look at timeline. There's a large group of your audience, guys, that only looks at stories. So if you're not sharing on stories, you may never reach them. There's a large group of your audience, guys, that when they open up their phone and they start their experience on the platform, they go right to IGTV. And if you have something new there on a weekly basis, if you have something on stories on a daily basis, which is not hard to do, guys, you're going to grab more of their attention. And at all of those different platforms, it's like a funnel. You can keep funneling them down to your website. Keep funneling them down to invite them to your business. Keep funneling them down and pointing them to the booking app to make sure, again, that they go from looking to actually booking, and to increase your sale and to increase your bottom line. Guys, another thing that I want you to do more of is utilize location tags. Now, many of us, and I've said this in the past, guys, we really want to be like nationally famous, but we're like locally broke, right? Or we're like locally not dominant, right? So this is not necessarily a knock on people, but there is this need, right? There is this kind of draw for the vanity metrics for other hairdressers on the East Coast, if you're on the West Coast, or in the South, if you're in the North, or something like that. You want kind of the recognition and, you know, the validation from your peers, which makes you want to be kind of insta famous or popular online. But I encourage you now, as much as that is important to many of us, it's not more important, in my opinion, if your business is a local one. Now, if you have a national business, be it education, a product line, training, brand ambassadorship, then yeah, you may need a global presence. But if your business is in Atlanta, Georgia, if your business is in Columbus, Georgia, if your business is in, you know, Ypsilanti, Michigan, or Milwaukee, Wisconsin, or Wichita, Kansas, you need to be known there, right? You need to let the people in the area know there. Remember, guys, that $2,000 a week, you work a 5-day week, that's just $400 a day. $400 times 5 is $2,000. $2,000 times 4 weeks, that's $8,000 a month. Guys, $400 is not a lot of money. Most of us, it's not so much that we are not talented, it's that we're not busy, right? If you say business slow, it's busyness. Many times we have a slow day on Monday or a slow day on Tuesday, or it doesn't get busy till midday on Wednesday, or I only got clients on Thursday, then I'm busy Friday, then I'm busy half a day Saturday. If we can create a more consistent book every day we work, a number like $400, guys, $500 a day, making $2,500 a week, that's child's play. And it's not a lot of work. Quite frankly, $400 a day would be $200 before lunch and $200 after lunch. When most of our services are $75, $85, $100. Some of you guys are doing weave and color services that are $300 a person. Guys, your average ticket should be at $75 for at least a blowout, roller set, you know, those kind of things. So when you're talking about $75 blowout, if you do 4 blowouts, you're at $300. So this is about being busy. And busy is going to come from people in your area knowing who you are and where you are. So if there's a landmark close to you, a university that's close to you, you know, a popular building or neighborhood that's close, guys, never pass up the opportunity when you're posting on your timeline, guys, and when you're sharing in stories, and when you're sharing on IGTV. Even, right, you want to let people know that you're not just online, you're not just in Georgia, but you're in Columbus, Georgia. You're not just in Columbus, Georgia, but you're around the corner from Columbus State. You're not just in Atlanta, but you're in the south side of Atlanta. You're not just in Chicago, but you're in Bridgeport, right? You need to really specify, because people are having their experience online in those neighborhoods online. So just like when you opened up a business years ago, it was about what? Location, 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 right? So just like that is online, the same thing applies. So every time you post, be sure not just to focus on the hashtags below the photo or video, but also never pass up an opportunity to put your content into the citywide conversation of the neighborhood you're in, the city that you're in, the landmark that you are around. Remember, guys, when you go to search, I think it goes across accounts, tags, and there's something else, tags, accounts, and places. So many people, they just simply click on what's happening in Columbus, what's happening in Los Angeles, what's the latest that's happening in Las Vegas. So guys, consider that, and always drop a location, which is going to give you even more reach on top of all of the other utilizing of all of the different uploading features. You guys follow me on Instagram, you'll know that I'm a huge Instagram stories fan. And listen, I'm not a 20-year-old, you know, fresh out of cosmetology school student. I'm not a millennial, you know what I mean? I'm a grown man, and somebody may say from the outside looking in, man, he's always on stories. He likes that kiddie part of Instagram. Well, the reality is, it's the most engaging part of Instagram. It's the part that keeps the people attention the longest. Honestly, guys, the bounce rate is what they call it on IGTV videos. If you don't grab their attention in the first 20 seconds, a lot of times people will swipe away, right? If you don't have a topic that people want to listen to in your IG live, people will click out. If you don't have something that speaks to them and not as just a selfish expression of yourself, just posting on timeline, people will scroll by. But the attention, it's been proven time and time again, the amount of time that the audience is watching stories for you or me or others, it is the most that you can have their attention. Up to 5 minutes, 10 minutes, sometimes up to 20 minutes straight. Guys, 20 minutes in marketing is an unbelievable amount of time to have somebody's attention. So you get, the more creative that you get in stories, the better chance you get to have their attention to explain what you do, how you do, why you chose, where you are in the city, what you specialize in, what kind of client that you're looking for, what kind of person that you are, what you believe in. Do you have a sense of humor? Are you a family person? Do you love to travel? What are your hours? How does it feel to be a customer of yours? Guys, take your IG stories and turn it into your behind the scenes camera. I mean, honestly, if I had to tell you to only use one platform, many people would think I would say timeline. I actually think you should use stories more. There's a reason why Snapchat is and was so popular. It's a compelling platform, and I encourage you to use all of the different features. One feature that I don't see people use enough of is the GIFs, or GIFs, or GIFs, or GIFs. I don't know how to pronounce it, but the GIFs, right? So why do I say use that? Because it's been proven, guys, that when something is moving one way and the GIF is moving another way, or GIF, however you pronounce it, it grabs the people's attention. It keeps them there longer. So utilizing that to kind of help with your storytelling. Utilize emojis to help with your storytelling. Remember, it's stories. Utilizing location, time, temperature, day of the week, tagging people in the post, tagging locations in the post, right? Utilizing collages for your photos, having your videos to have music on top of them, putting a poll inside of your Instagram story so you can get somebody's yes or no, and you can figure out how your audience is thinking. Utilizing the questions feature, which I think is an absolute game changer, because not only are you engaging with them in stories, you're almost poking and prodding your audience to tell them to engage back with you, which could go on like stories is for an entire 24 hours. Remember, guys, the more you keep the customer's attention, the more Instagram will reward you. You'll see it go further. You'll see your following grow, and you'll see your bookings change. The more you've got that engagement, for me, the game is to get as many people as you can, from stories to live to IGTV and certainly timeline, to get to your DM, to get to the direct message. Guys, once you get any of your followers in direct message, you got them. You can send them your phone number, you can send them your website link, you can send them your booking link, you can send them your latest podcast, YouTube video, an article about you, a blog that you have, all of those things. It's the only place on Instagram where you can literally share a URL. So it's so important to get them there. Now, here's what's cool about stories. Every time somebody comments, leaves a question, fills out the bottom, the bubble at the bottom, or the comment, it doesn't go into a bubble just inside of stories. It goes to your DM. So the more and more you can get them to engage with you in stories, you get this personal conversation going on in your direct message. Think about this. If you get 30 people to engage on stories, to leave a comment, to comment back, to ask you a question in your DM, what's the possibility of getting 5 of them to be bookings? High. Because once you pull them off of the big group of people that are watching you and now talk to them one-on-one, like I've done with many of you guys out there, guys, the conversion rate for them to turn into customers is high. And remember, in timeline, some people just don't even comment because they're going to be seen in the timeline. They're going to be seen underneath a post. Believe it or not, a lot of people don't even like to type because they're hesitant to talk. But those same people have no problem talking privately in DM. So stories, there is no timeline. Nobody can see their comments, and people know that. So they comment a lot more and engage a lot more. So I think if you got to use one thing, I would go with Instagram stories, believe it or not. IGTV. Now, why do I think IGTV is a game changer? First of all, it's one of the only places on Instagram that actually gives you a URL. If you look at the bottom of your IGTV, if you've uploaded a video at all, and here are the dimensions, you can have it to go this way. Now they allow you to go horizontally, right? But they want you to utilize, for the most part, 16:9 or vertical video. That's what makes it different than YouTube. Now, you can go up to 15 minutes long, which at one time it was just 10 minutes. They've extended it to 15 minutes. Guys, that's half of a TV show. That's half of a sitcom. So you could do 15 and 15, 15 and 15 back to back and give an hour-long movie in your IGTV if that's what you want to do. So you get 15 minutes. Now, at the bottom, there's 3 little dots. If you click on those 3 little dots, guys, it'll actually say, do you want to share this, copy this, or send this out? You can share it around Instagram, but you can also copy that link and share it on Facebook, share it on your blog, share it in an email, share it in a text message, share it on your website. It's movable. It's one of the only places where you can take Instagram off of Instagram and share it on your other platforms, on LinkedIn, on somewhere else where you have a following. Guys, this is a game changer, but you don't get a chance to use that if you don't upload an IGTV. Another thing is in in stories, a lot of people are wanting to get to 10,000 followers because they know they can do the swipe up and move to their website. Well, you definitely want to get that if you can at 10,000 followers to swipe up out of Instagram. But IG can move the attention of your followers that are watching you in stories. You can swipe up to your IGTV. Now that seems like that doesn't make sense, but if you got them for 15 seconds in stories, you can swipe them to a 15-minute tour of the salon. You can swipe, everybody has this access, no matter your followers. You can put a IGTV link in any Instagram story video or photo. That is major. You can swipe them out to, meet the staff. You can swipe them out to a step-by-step tutorial. You can swipe them out to a before and after, right? Show maybe the behind the scenes of your photo shoot, show the final photos on your timeline, and then swipe them out to show them the all-day interaction with you and the model. Guys, you're trying to create your own little world, and Instagram is giving you a ton of tools, but we've got to use them. You've got to actually sit back and utilize these tools, and it can be a game changer for your brand and your business. Guys, I'm talking about better brands, better business, and ultimately better accounts. If we can take this platform and utilize it to make more money for our business and to grow our following into raving fans for our salon. Hashtags. Guys, hashtags are needed. But if we don't use them correctly, they can actually hurt us. Guys, hashtags are a way to kind of categorize each post. And there are certain hashtags that I see us use. Of course, hair, natural hair, salon life, hair life, things like that. They're broad, sweeping hashtags. And they are important, guys, to get maybe in the broader, bigger conversation. But I want you to know that you can create your own hashtag. For instance, Torgano Tribe is an actual hashtag that I've created, not only because of this platform, but also because of my travelings and education over the last 4 years. So I can literally, when I go to an event, when I go to a conference, sometimes I'm getting booked to get involved with certain events because of the following that they know is going to come with me, because they can see the trail that I've left on IG with Trim the Tribe, Torgano Tribe, Tribe Membership, Tribe Life, Tribe Gear, Better Lives, Torgano Group. So not only do you want to follow hashtags, you want to become a hashtag as well. Also, it's important to maybe use smaller hashtags that are a little bit more specific. In particular, I really want you to sit down, guys, in your notes on your phone, write it down somewhere, and really think about hashtags that matter in your city. For instance, if you're in Atlanta, Georgia, hashtags like Atlanta Falcons, Georgia Tech, Morris Brown, AU Center, Buckhead, the Beltline, there are certain things that are important to your area. So again, you want to make sure that you're locally relevant and not just nationally famous, right? You want to make sure that you have hashtags that specifically talk about what you are. 706 hair, right? Chicago natural stylist, Dallas, Texas short hair. Those are the things that your client is looking for. Guys, I'll tell you a little story. When I started on YouTube, I, like most hairdressers that started on YouTube back then, it wasn't a whole lot of us, but in 2009, I thought it was about me, so I made all of my videos about Raymond Torregano, asymmetric haircut, you know, we wasn't calling it balayage back then, but blonding, beautiful black and blonde, you know what I mean? And all of these different techniques that I was using. It wasn't until one day I was rushed for time to name the video, and I just simply named it 10-Minute Bob. I mean, it was because I was rushing. I didn't name it all of the different technical hair terms. I named the video 10-Minute Bob, and I went away. I went to like dinner or something like that. When I came back to look at that video, this is 10 years ago, it was thousands of views, and no video had ever done that. We weren't even using the word viral yet. And I didn't understand what happened. I thought initially it was because, oh, the haircut was so good. It wasn't my haircut. Later on, I went back to my kind of really industry-laden, naming of the videos. And then I had a video, many of you guys have seen it. It was called Rihanna-Inspired Hairstyle. Because it was that. My model at the time literally showed me a picture of Rihanna's hair, and we recreated this look on her and called it that. Guys, that video went, in that instance, I know what the word is now, it went viral. It's literally sitting on about nearly 1 million views right now, years later. That video is responsible for so many people seeing my YouTube channel, so many people connecting to my company as a salon and as an educational platform. That video was done 10 years ago. I still get people comment on that video to this day. Why? Because people weren't looking for me as much as they were looking for Rihanna. People weren't looking for me as much as they were looking for a bob hairstyle. People weren't looking for me or you as much as they're looking for a hairstylist in Michigan. People aren't looking for you as much as they're looking for Florida locks, right? So we want to be very, narrow with our hashtags as well, that they clearly speak to the audience. Not just about us trying to be popular, but that people can get exactly to what they're looking for in the city and area that we are. So location is important, guys, and hashtags is important, but let's think about it in a local sense as well as a national sense. Guys, another part of IG that I don't really see enough people utilizing, guys, is the IG Stories highlight covers. Now, many people don't even know what this is, and I'll be honest, when it first dropped, I didn't really understand what it was. Now, I absolutely love it, and more people utilize this every single day. Right below your bio, guys, you'll see some bubbles on some people's pages. If it's on your page, then you know what this is. And what this is, it's a way to create kind of like Instagram's version of a photo album. But unlike the photo albums that we had on Facebook or MySpace, or I think we had them on Black Planet years ago, this is more about highlights of your day. Remember, stories is about telling your story for the day. Your beach trip, your Vegas trip, your graduation, your son's birthday, right? Your educational travels, your makeover in your salon, your team meeting, right? Your client appreciation event. Guys, you can actually take that full day or pieces of multiple days and create little bitty highlight reels below your profile, which I think is a game changer. For instance, in my highlight reel, I have a highlight reel about my consulting. So I can refer to people anytime that they ask me about consulting, click on that highlight and swipe up. Or I can have a particular one about my travels, or I can have a particular highlight about all the different times that I've had education, or a particular one about my health journey, or you can have a particular one about your salon tour, or one that talks about your staff, or one that shares about your education to a trade show. Guys, those highlights are really like tabs on your Instagram website. Remember, it's not your website. It's social media. So create little pieces of your social life. And a lot of people like to separate their pages, guys, from business to personal. And I'm not a huge fan of that. I understand it. But even if you want to keep most of your content about your business, remember that you're on social media. You're not on business media. So there has to be a level, even if you don't want to show your personal life, you've got to show the life of your personality. And that's how you got to do it. And then to me, stories and story highlights is a game changer that can do that to show people that you're a real person. Utilize applications like Over. This is a great application, guys. It's free. There's tons of other applications that you can use to create your own personalized IG highlight covers, just to make it really, really nice in uniformity, and it creates a great sense of brand identity on your page. And somebody's watching this right now, and they're like, man, I didn't know it was that deep. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just thought it was something that I was on strolling and looking at Kim Kardashian and what Beyonce doing with Blue. Whoa, this is a lot of work. Well, you don't have to use it, but you got to market somewhere. Pay for a television. Pay the money for marketing on the radio. Pay for a billboard. Pay for a PR agent $1,000 or $1,500 a month. I mean, it's paid marketing still works. It's just you got to spend a lot of money. And because most people do not have that budget or don't want to spend that kind of money, then we're going to have to spend the time, guys. And don't look at this like your teenager's platform, or this is for kids, or this is for millennials. I don't care how old you are. Most of you that are watching this are younger than me. Most of you are in your 30s, 20s, maybe early 40s. Some of you guys are in 50s or so. But most of the platform, guys, is my age or younger. So if I'm on it each day and growing my business on it, then you've got to do it too. Yes, it's that serious, and there is strategy, and people are winning big. You can't even think of any of the hairstylists or beauty professionals that you're following that are not winning on this platform. And they, like I, take it very, very serious. We have fun with it, but we don't disrespect it and just dismiss it like it's not important. It's very important, so I encourage you guys to go over videos like this one and others so you can master this, guys, and really leverage it to grow your business. And lastly, guys, remember that there are clickable parts on your profile, right? So one of the first clickable parts that you want to be mindful of, or searchable parts, is your name. Right? So your name should be something, it doesn't necessarily have to say, you know, Atlanta Hair. It can be Torregano Group. It can be Keisha's Hair. But it's got to be something simple and preferably something that they can remember that's specific to you. So that's one thing you want to take a lot of, you know, thought in. Your profile picture is not clickable, but it's important. Remember, you get a very small bubble, right, around your face. For years, I had the logo. Other times, I use my face. If you're an independent stylist, guys, in a salon suite, or, you know, a commission stylist, or a booth rent stylist, or just an independent brand, I would really encourage you to utilize your face. If you don't use your face, bare minimum, a clear depiction of your logo that you're constantly using. Because remember, it's social media, right? So people want to be connected to the brand. They want to be connected to you. So you got to be very mindful. No camera phone pictures, no, you know, low quality graphics. Use a pro picture of yourself. You would do good to invest in a photo shoot of yourself, not just your work, but of you, so they can connect this photo on your timeline, on your platform, on your website, and in that bubble. Another thing is your name is also searchable. This is another game changer. Your name beneath your photo is as important as the name of your page. Think of the name of your page as your IG handle, and this is your name. But if your name says Atlanta Hairstylist next to Keisha Thomas, when people punch in Atlanta, you may come up to the top because of what's in your name, not also what's in your username. That's very important to maybe hack. Like, for instance, if you're in the Portland area, hashtag PDF, PDX, or Portland, some people have that in their name as a way to get searched twice, if that makes sense. So that's important. Another thing that's important, guys, is please don't waste the clickable website link. You only get one. That's the only space. Unlike Facebook, every time you put in a www dot or www dot or any type of URL, you can click right from the caption. You can't do that in Instagram. So guys, you have to put your booking link, your website link, your YouTube link, your blog link, something that can pull the people to learn more about you in that link. So many stylists don't even utilize that link, which is a waste. I almost want to know, well, why are we on Instagram if we don't have a way to pull them off to go from looking to booking? Also, when you go to a business page, guys, they give you the city that you're in. I would really encourage people to utilize that to tell the viewer that I'm in Ontario, California. I'm in Houston, Texas. I'm in, Cincinnati, Ohio, Apopka, Florida, Greenville, South Carolina. Guys, utilize, that's the only 2 places in the direct bio that you can click on. So it's important to make sure that we leverage that and do a little inventory to make sure that those are tight. Now, right below your bio is clickable links across. If I'm not mistaken, now you get phone, so they can call you. You can put in text, go through your editing your profile if you want to add these in. If you take phone calls to book, if you take text to book, I wouldn't encourage to do that a whole lot. But if you want to utilize it, it's there. Most of the booking applications, I think Acuity, Schedulicity, Booksy, they all have links that you can place now in one of those tabs below. That's major. So go through, if you book online, make sure you link the tab. I'm just trying to power up your Instagram, guys, as well as you can also put your email, right? There's even a tab now, if you sell products, you can, if you have a product line, if you have a private label line or a line that you've manufactured, you can have a shop tab. I think you can have 4 across. Use them all. Use them all, guys. Your name, your username, a great photo, your website link that you're using, the city that you're in, and as many as you can put across on your bio. So when they come to your bio, you are ready to go and go from looking to booking. Guys, I'm just gonna wrap it up right there. I really do hope that all of these things were helpful. Listen to this over and over again. Please leave your comments in below this video. Message me if you have some personal questions that I can answer for you about IG. I'm here to open, especially anybody that's on the Tribe membership, guys. I wanna help grow your business. But this is a powerful platform, guys, and it's just growing bigger and bigger. And if you notice, for everybody that's even thinking about utilizing stories more, most of the time, probably this year in particular, ever since we had that Instagram outage in March, pretty much every new thing that they've added, anytime that they've added anything new, they added something new to stories. If you think about it, every time we had an update on IG, it was something new in stories. That's the one they want us to use the most. Then I would say IGTV. And of course, your timeline. But because everybody is on timeline, you've got to use that and something else. You got to tag team it with one of the other ones, if not 2 of the other platforms. Guys, I hope that helps. I'll be back with more content. Better brands, guys. Better business. Better lives.